Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Nicole Fernia, and I'm the Global Director of Early Talent here at ABB.
And my name is Amber Lawrence. I'm the U.S. Early Career Program Manager.
We're excited to have you here for our LinkedIn Live event. Today, we're going to highlight our Mebane, North Carolina facility, but we're also going to point out our early talent hires, how they get their careers started, and the development they receive at ABB.
You're going to hear from leaders, our Discovery Program participants, and get to see what it's like at our factory. We're really excited you're here, so let's get started.
All right, hi everyone. We're live here from the production floor in Mebane, and I'm joined with Norm Sowards, who's our U.S. Marketing and Strategy Leader. Norm, to start, can you tell the audience a little bit about your role, please?
Yeah, so we really look out for three big things, really creating demand and awareness for ABB products in the U.S. We do long-range planning, so looking out on the horizon and beyond the horizon to see what's going on in the market, and market analytics and intelligence.
Awesome, thank you. And we're talking a little bit about early talent today.
Yep.
So can you talk with our audience about why supporting people earlier in their careers is such an important focus for ABB?
Sure. Well, first of all, there's like this exploding demand of energy going on in the U.S., led by AI data centers, strategic domestic manufacturing, and the build out of our grid. And so the war for talent, right, needing great talent is more important than ever. There's a shortage of engineers and electricians in the country. And so early career is the best pipeline for us to build that talent pool going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And you work really closely with our customers on a daily basis. So can you talk a little bit about how early career perspectives help us stay connected to their needs?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, like the Discovery Program, we rotate them through different roles. And a big element of the roles that we put them through has to do with customer-facing roles in different markets, in different geographies around the country. And really what happens when we have them through those roles, and I would also say here in Mebane, we have our Customer Experience Center. So for those Discovery folks, early career folks who are working here, they get to talk to customers when they come and visit. Yeah. And I think what happens is when they get in those roles early on and they're in customer facing or customer interactions, they get some fresh eyes on things and some fresh ideas that they can bring back to us.
Yeah, exactly. I love the level of responsibility that we give our early talent hires here at ABB right from the start. It's awesome. You mentioned earlier the demand, and obviously customer expectations are changing so quickly. How do fresh skills and new perspectives help ABB outrun our competitors?
Yeah, so again, the fresh idea keeps coming back here. So one of the things that we do with the discoveries is we have a series of capstone projects that they do each spring. And we give them challenging projects to work on. They're sponsored by executives in the company. And as they come back and they report out, or as they engage with us on those projects, we get their new ideas, right? And we're learning from them as they're learning from us. And I think it's really exciting when we give them challenging opportunities to work on things that they can bring these ideas back. And I think the other thing is, they're really up to date on kind of the latest technologies, whether it's AI or social media and so forth. So it's learning from each other and bringing those new ideas into the company.
Awesome. Thanks, Norm, for being here today. We really appreciate your insights. I'm going to turn it over to Amber, who's going to talk about our early talent programs.
Thank you.
Okay. As you just heard Norm mention and Nicole, as well as some of the interviewers you're going to see later this afternoon, we're all going to be part of our Discovery Program. Now, some of you at home might be wondering, what is the Discovery Program, right? So the Discovery Program, it is our early talent program where they have the opportunity to do 3 different rotations over 2 years. It's a great way to start with an ABB because it gives them real life experiences, opportunities to do real meaningful work, and get super great support from all of their mentors and their coworkers. Now, today, you're going to hear from people who are actually doing their rotation currently in the Mebane area. So why is Mebane a great place to do your rotation? Well, first of all, as you can see, we're here on the factory floor. You get to see our products in real time, how we're actually making what we get and put out into the world every day. Also, we have great teams around. So the leadership development, the coaching, and the support is unmatched. So we're really excited to continue to hear from others in Mebane today and hear all about their experience. Oh, great. ABB, and we hope as we take you along today in our conversations, you will be, you can absolutely go to our careers.abb website. We have all of our opportunities listed there, which does include our internships, which we are actively interviewing and hiring for our summer internship program, as well as our discovery program. All of those are live on there now for you to apply, and we definitely encourage you to do so. Do we have any other questions in the chat?
No, I think that's it for now. Thanks, Amber.
Amazing. Yes, well, thank you guys so much again for joining us. We're so excited to have you, and let's keep things going. We're gonna pass it back to Nicole.
Hi, everyone. We're in the smart power side of the building, and I'm here with Raj and Anaki. Before I jump into a couple questions, could you tell the audience a little bit about both of your roles?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm Raj. I support and lead the production development teams here in the smart power division for ABB. Mebane?
Hey, I'm Iñaki. I work as a warehouse and purchasing manager here in Mebane SP.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we're standing in front of the communication center of the smart power side of the building. And typically, Raj, behind us, there'll be data up on these screens. But can you tell us a little bit about how that data impacts day-to-day operations?
Absolutely. So this is the way we conduct our business here in the smart power division, right? So we use the communication boards to drive all the key KPIs that we want to push for, right? So it starts with safety. We talk about safety, we talk about employee engagement, and we talk about quality aspects, we talk about overdue, we talk about how we are helping the customers, and also the daily KPI, and also communicate to the people out on the line their production schedule to the point that everything is crystal clear.
Yeah, I love that, and it gives both shifts and everything an idea of what's happening throughout the day and so on too, so that's great. I know you've both worked really closely with our interns that spend time here in the Mebane facility. And Anaki, you actually worked with our interns last summer as part of the Lean Challenge internship, and that team actually won that program as well last summer, so congrats. But can you talk a little bit about that internship program and the real life experiences that those interns get in that program?
Yeah, for sure, I can talk about it. I mean, as Raj mentioned, there can be several projects that you can implement in the Lean Challenge. It's a project that needs to be, you need to aim to improve the specific KPIs that we have, such as the ones that Raj was mentioning that we explained here in the board. Or from my experience, you can implement a project that can oversight all those different KPIs, right, in one go, such as the one that we implemented with the interns, which was called Just in Sequence. This project, it get involved with our people here to improve their safety, also improve the cost of quality that we have here in Mebane. And the most important part of this project was that it was a portable project. So ABB is sold around the world, right? It's not just Mebane. So this is the best way to implement new projects that can have the huge benefits, not just for Mebane, also for other sites that are out there.
No, that's great. And I love the continuous improvement aspect of the internship and the fact that those interns are making a real impact every day on the operations here too. So, and Anaki, you have a unique story because you actually started your career as an intern at ABB, right? So
that's right.
Can you talk about the biggest difference, in your opinion, of what's the experience students get as an intern and how that's different from their classroom learning?
I mean, like from my experience, when I was an intern, I'll say that something that you take with you that you cannot get from classroom is a huge responsibility that you have here in the site, right? Like in a classroom, I don't know, you don't deliver a report and that's it, you get a lower grade. But here, you do something wrong in the line, you can stop the line, right? But I'll say it doesn't stop there. You can also have the production manager like telling you, you need to fix it as soon as possible, we need to start running again, while at the same time, guess what? You have a presentation in 2 hours that you need to do. And not just that, right? Like also have several tasks that you need to implement during the day with different cross-functional teams. And that type of pressure and that type of responsibility is definitely something that you don't learn in class on how to handle it, right?
Yeah, it's really true. I think and that's something I think important for our audience to keep in mind is they're like in classrooms you have a syllabus, right? And so you know what to expect throughout the semester and so on. Whereas in the everyday work life here at Mebane, you got to be flexible, right? Things come up every day and things can change, fire drills, whatever it might be. So that's awesome. Raj, last question. I'm curious from your perspective and having worked with some other early talent hires here in Mebane, how have they accelerated like the problem solving and the performance here in the facility?
I mean, for us in ABB, the way I think about it, I would want to highlight three things. Number one, the fresh perspective. So when they come in from school and started getting exposed to the industry, I mean, a lot of things that they would hear is like, this is the way that it's always been done. And the status quo, questioning that, right? So bringing in set of fresh eyes, that's number one. Number two, the data-driven approach. I mean, this is what I feel like. This is what has happened based on my experience. Instead of going from that point to driven by facts, having data in front of you to make meaningful decisions. And I think that is excellent with the new talent, young talent coming in.
Yeah.
And then the last one is the emerging technologies, right? So, because again, we need to stay relevant. Just came out of a town hall with Martin, and we talked about how we can help ABB as employees stay relevant. So talking about Internet of Things, talking about robotics, talking about automation, the industry-academia relationship is extremely important because to stay relevant. So I would say these are some of the bullets I would say that's how they contribute to the business.
Yeah. And today's early talent candidates are learning a ton of that in the classroom and bringing it to the workplace, which is great. So
absolutely.
Thank you both so much for sharing your stories, your examples, and so on. Really helpful and really excited to hear about the smart power side of the business. I'm going to send it back to Amber now, who's actually with two of our Discovery Program participants from our operations track. So I'm joined now by Julia, plant manager here in Mebane. Thank you again for allowing us to be here today.
Absolutely.
A lot of our audience has probably never seen the inside of a manufacturing facility. So can you tell us a little bit about Mebane, about the scale here, the number of employees, but also about the products like what we're standing in front of and how that's impacting everyday lives?
Yeah. First, I mean, welcome to ABB Mebane. It's an honor to be hosting our LinkedIn Live event this morning from our manufacturing floor. A little bit about this facility, but we've been building critical electrical distribution equipment since 1972. We've got a total of 650,000 square feet, over 800 employees, and we are growing. I'll talk about that in a couple minutes here. But we build switchgear, switchboards, lighting panels. Our services group is also based here. So we do a lot to basically, as we say here, keeping America on. Our equipment gets used in any industry you can think of that would require power. So data centers, pharmaceutical, food and beverage, paper products, hospitals, ships even, right? So we've got equipment that goes into US Navy ships. Basically, we do it all. And we're really excited about our growth mode here as well. Yeah. Staying on Mebane just a little bit, but what's really special is every single function that works within our operations sits here. That's a pretty unique space for us. So we have R&D, engineering, planning and fulfillment, procurement, proposals, project management. It goes on. Yeah. So you can really build those connections and learn about the business.
The collaboration is awesome, right? With all the different key sort of components coming together and working together on a daily basis. That's phenomenal. Sustainability is a big topic, especially among early career candidates right now. So can you talk a little bit about sustainability here in Mebane and how that's impacting ABB's overall goals too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're always evaluating our processes and what we do to be leaner and cleaner, right? ABB has a broader mission to zero to get to net zero emissions, which we are an active participant in. So looking at our energy usage and what do we do, and a lot of our focus right now is in our waste management. So how are we going to be doing a better job with materials, recycling, especially with our scrap? So we're a fully integrated site. So we've got a full fabrication department. I'm pointing that way because a bunch of our equipment is that way. But we punch, bend, paint, epoxy, metal, all here on site. So we're really focused on how do we keep those processes clean. We have our own paint line. To give you an example, we have our own wastewater treatment facility right here. We treat over 45,000 gallons of water a week to make sure that we're doing our part with our processes to keep our environment clean.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for describing that. Very helpful for our audience. You mentioned Mebane is growing, and this is a huge site for some of the programs that Amber just talked about from an internship and rotational standpoint. Can you talk about how those hires are impacting the day-to-day problem solving and the continuous improvement here?
Yeah. My favorite thing is I say every single person that works here, we don't have time for busy work, right? We've got a lot going on. Any project somebody works on, it's real work with a real customer. You're impacting real employees, real operations, right? Last year we had 3 lean challenge teams here. One completely redefined our operations for a brand new product rollout. So they partnered with R&D, industrialization, and our operators to make sure that we had a sustainable operation that could be implemented safely with our top priority.
Yeah.
We also had another lean challenge team that went into our fabrication and looked at that. How do we get more efficient? How do we reduce our waste? And my favorite, actually, because I'll give some credit to a fellow alumni intern that worked on a special project, but go Wildcats on the side comment there. But something she said, it was really awesome. It was like, I couldn't believe I was just given free reign. It was like the problem statement was made, but nobody told her what the solution was, right? And that engagement and empowerment from our interns is what makes our experiences really different, is that ownership, right? We're not here to pave the way. We're here to support you and let you define how you want to impact our operations.
Yeah.
That's ABB, right? It's innovation and diversity of thought on every level.
Yeah, that's amazing. The real impact that the interns are having, that the rotational program participants are having. And I know one of the Mebane teams won the Lean Challenge internship last summer too. So congratulations there.
We took first and second place. So I'm just gonna pick that out there.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much, Julia, for sharing. We really appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much.
Okay, we're live again with Salvador. Thank you for joining us. Salvador is our production engineering and operational excellence manager here in Mebane. Just to explain your role a little bit to the audience, please.
Yes, of course. I'm responsible of the development and deployment of the continuous improvement roadmap that we have. I like to think about my role as a person who leads the team, who is making people's lives easier, simpler, safer, with better ergonomics and more quality.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. We're going to talk a little bit about the values here at ABB during this segment, which are courage, care, curiosity, and collaboration. They impact our lives every day here at ABB. But can you talk about, from your experience on the floor, managing teams every day, where you've seen these values come to life?
Of course, that's a great question. We call it going to the Gemba, where the action happens. And what I encourage my team is to show care, like being here in the shop floor, being present when issues happen, be curious, asking the right questions, asking why, in order to get to the root cause of the issues, and collaborate with cross-functional teams in order to achieve meaningful results. And of course, always, whenever we see an unsafe condition or a process that is not followed as intended, to have the courage to raise a hand and say, hey, let's stop, let's take 5, let's figure out this together, and let's find out the best approach to solve this issue, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we live it.
Excellent. Thank you. So you spend a lot of time mentoring people and obviously working with our early talent hires as well. So what do you hope they learn about our values here at ABB and how we live those every day?
Yes, of course. Well, not so long ago, I was also an early career, and I was part of the rotational program as well. And I have leaders that help me mold what I am today, right? So they invested time in me, they believed in me. So what I want is to give that back to them. So that's why we are coaching them, guiding them here in the shop floor, giving them the tools in order to tackle the most challenging obstacles that we have, or the toughest challenges that we have here in the shop floor.
Yeah, excellent. We have so many of our former early talent program participants and interns in the facility working with our new hires every day. So we really appreciate your mentorship, your guidance, and so on. And thanks for sharing your insights today, Salvador. I really appreciate it. I'm going to hand it over to Amber here next, who is with one of our Discovery program participants.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And so I know we've gotten a lot of good conversation in the chat, so please continue to put those questions in there. Even though we're just here today in the US at our Mebane facility, that does not mean we don't have great opportunities when it comes to internships and the Discovery Program all around the world. And we hire for interns in all types of roles. So if you are interested and you're tuning in outside of the US, please definitely visit our careers website. We would love for you to look at the opportunities that are local to you. Any other questions that we can answer right now?
Absolutely. We're hearing a lot about electrical engineering and opportunities throughout the globe in procurement engineering. We also want to know if there's any roles in procurement that's in Turkey or even just roles in Turkey in general. So let us know a little bit about some of the opportunities that we provide.
Absolutely. And I love all the questions. So exactly. All over the world, we have opportunities. So please, if you are an engineering major, even a business major, whatever focus you're in, we have opportunities at ABB for you. So please encourage you to go on our careers.abb website, filter to your country, and see what all we're hiring for in your area today.
And Amber, one more question. Who can join ABB? Can everyone join ABB?
Everyone can join ABB. I'm so glad you asked. Yes, we hope that everybody does join, right? We want all of these different perspectives, having a lot of different insights and perspectives coming in so we can innovate more great things. So everybody is welcome. Wonderful. Well, thank you for those questions. Keep them coming. We will have time to answer more later. But right now, I am joined with William Shaw. He is a current participant of our Discovery Program in the Human Resources track, and we're so excited to have you. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, of course, you joined through the Discovery Program here at ABB.
Yes.
So I'm curious, what moments or experiences do you feel made you feel welcome at ABB?
Well, I'll just have to say from day one, I always felt ABB was interested in me as a person and not just as a regular Discovery participant. I remember during the Discovery orientation and how the leaders took their time to introduce themselves, and my teammates were always willing to be open and transparent with me. Those moments really stuck out to me and made a difference. And not only that, this Discovery track also made me felt encouraged to ask questions, share ideas, and most importantly, create a space for me to be curious and not have to have everything figured out. So having those genuine conversations and those touch points really made me feel like I was meant to be here at ABB, and people here truly want you to succeed.
I love hearing that. And
Yes.
especially as we just talked about those values, right?
Yeah.
You felt them from day one. So that's incredible. I'd also be curious. So you've moved through a few different teams now.
Yes, I have.
Had a couple different experiences. So how do you feel you found your footing or were able to kind of settle in these different teams?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what I feel like helped me the most was the culture of cross collaboration and amongst all the different teams, along with the approachability with them. Every rotation has come with leaders and colleagues who are always willing to slow down and explain the why behind things whenever I had questions. And making that space for learning really does make a good impact for you. So having those check-ins and having those questions answered really makes you feel and get the confidence to be here in this Discovery track.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We
No,
really
thank you.
appreciate your insights.
No, of course. Thank you.
Yes. And next up, we're going to have a couple more of our Discovery participants joining us. So thank you, Carl and Hannah, for joining today. Yes, these two lovely people are part of our manufacturing operations track in the Discovery Program. So we are very excited to learn a little bit more about your experience. So Hannah, I'd love to hear from you. Discovery Program, we are known for having real hands-on work, right? Making a meaningful impact in your rotation. So could you maybe share with us a moment where you felt like you could get in on the action?
Yeah, sure. And at first and foremost, I'd like to say that all my rotations have been pretty hands-on. So big props to Amber and the early talent team for curating this experience for us. I've been able to work in production to really understand the assembly lines. If something like a machine goes down or something like that, how does that impact a job? I'm gaining these skills to be kind of more impactful in the current role that I'm in as a project manager. So then moving to kind of more supply chain, understanding the ETAs of parts, how is that going to impact the risk of a project? And I would say that this rotation specifically has been very hands-on. I'm managing real life projects, and yes, it's a little scary at times, especially in the beginning, kind of having a piece and generating revenue for the site. But I'd say understanding how to communicate to customers and actually being more external facing has been very hands-on. And I'll share two big moments, big wow moments, which was the first one was when I actually saw the first job that I was project managing on site being built, like the one behind us. And I was really wowed. And I also kind of was explaining to the PE on the job it was actually her first job as well. So actually seeing that and actually knowing that I had a piece in that puzzle was very impactful. And then another moment was when we had another employee join our team, and I was actually helping answer some of the questions he had about the projects that I used to have and I used to kind of pose to the team. So looking back and really understanding how much I learned throughout, a short period of time has been really impactful and hands-on on understanding the risks and the financials behind projects has been very impactful and, very hands-on. A little scary at times, but yes, definitely external communication with customers has been very impactful.
It's incredible. And what a cool full circle moment, right? Being able to go so early in your career too and helping others who are joining and getting to have these wow moments as well. So very cool experience. Thank you. And Carl, I'd like to ask you, so you've also moved through a lot of teams. That's kind of what we do here in Discovery, right? What would you say is one thing that surprised you about ABB?
Yeah, I believe the amount of benchmarking that is being done across the different ABB facilities. Every manufacturing facility is essentially a separate entity of its own. So they have their own different goals, whether that's production or financial. They manufacture different products. But at the end of the day, it's all manufacturing, right? My manager always tells me this. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We have facilities which have been in business for 50 plus years, 100 plus years. And so just benchmarking with them and kind of picking their brain and getting best practices from them. So I would say overall, like the amount of collaboration that happens between the different manufacturing facilities was quite surprising for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cool, right?
I know.
We are so big. We do so many things. You can't do it alone.
Nope.
We've got to collaborate.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a few questions?
We do, Amber. We have a couple questions before we get started on the next period, but I just wanted to touch base. Andrew asked us how important in collaboration is resolving unknown challenges on the production floor.
The collaboration to solve
collaboration in production on the production floor.
Perfect. Thank you. And as you guys may hear on the call too, it can get a little loud on the factory floor. So thank you for bearing with me as I get those questions back. Collaboration is imperative, right? We have to be able to work together, especially as challenges arise. It really does require a lot of different influences from different thoughts, perspectives, bringing in your own ideas to see how can we make solutions and continue to get better every day. So having that collaboration, good communication with your teammates, it's imperative for sure.
Thanks, Amber. That's really important to us, and we really appreciate you sharing that. I think a couple other questions that we're getting is related to what we just saw with Carl and Hannah. So can you tell us that different roles and opportunities, do you have to have an engineering degree or be interested in being an engineer only if you're join ABB?
Great question. And no, it doesn't matter if you are an engineering major, a business major, we are hiring for all types of opportunities. So please encourage you. I myself am not an engineering major, right? So I'm proof right in front of you, but I would say we do hire a lot of engineering for different rotations in our R&D rotations, in our engineering, in our manufacturing operations, even our commercial sales. But those are also open to business degrees too for our commercial sales program, for our HR program, our human resources program. We have opportunities in finance, IS, you name it. We are hiring all around the globe for these.
Awesome. And last one before we hear from our CEO, Morton, can you tell me, once you have applied for an opportunity, what does that look like? What's the process? Because I don't always know, and I'd love to know.
And that can be a very frustrating part, right? When you apply to a job, you don't hear anything right away. It can be confusing. So glad that we asked this question. So once you go on and apply, you will be contacted by one of our amazing talent partners. So based on the role and the timeline that they're interviewing for, they'll connect with you and they'll walk you through it step by step. You won't be in it alone. They're there, they have your back, and they'll make sure that you know the continued expectations of your process throughout the whole way through.
Morton.
Great.
I'm super excited to be joined by our CEO, Morton Virod, and our U.S. lead, our electrification lead, Denny Miller. Thank you both for being here and spending some time with us today. We're highlighting early talent here in the Mebane facility and ABB. So Morton, I want to start with you with a question. When you think about ABB and the pace of change, the technologies, the enhancements, and so on, what excites you most about students and early career professionals joining us?
First of all, as the world is going electric and we need more electrification and more automation, I think we need also more talents, because to help us with many of these challenges. We have great people in ABB, but we want even more, and because we have so many opportunities in the companies, helping on the energy expansion, also being able to make electricity and automation available for our customers. That's really the opportunities that is in front of us. And young talents with in a diverse background, knowing both from finance to engineering, and operations. We need it all, and therefore ABB can be a good home to start your career in.
Yeah, I love that. I know we talk to students all the time about they're bringing so many new skill sets and new eyes to things at ABB, so we're certainly excited about that. Denny, over to you. You spend so much time with people who are earlier in their careers here at ABB, and you started your own career in an early talent program as well. So what do you want them to know? What do you want these candidates to know about potentially starting their careers at ABB?
Yeah, ABB is an amazing place to really have a career and do anything that you want. So to your point, I started my career in finance. I spent time with sales, with learning our customers. I spent time running operations, and now I lead our business line. And really, at ABB, you can do anything that you want. You can go to different geographies, you can have different experiences in different industries, and most importantly, really learn every aspect of a business, understanding how to work with diverse people, but also with diverse customers, and really become an expert in whatever field you want. But the opportunities here are endless. It's really a great place to be.
Yeah, that's so great. I have a question for both of you to sort of close things out. So when you think about your early days of your career, is there a moment that you can reference that perhaps shaped the career path that you've been on here at ABB? And any, again, further advice that you'd give to potential candidates that are considering us as a place to start their careers?
Yeah, I started in the company straight out of university. So I thought ABB was a company. Today we say it runs what runs the world. That was true in 1998, a long time ago, but it's still true today. So that's the great opportunity. And for me, it was this opportunity, as Danny said, to be working different countries, in different geographies, but also with different customers. That's what was attracted me to join ABB. And 28 years later, I'm still in the company. I'm now the CEO. So I think I'm a living proof that it's possible to do whatever you want out of your career when you join the company. So then it's all up to you to succeed.
Awesome. Denny, what about you?
From my point of view, I've tried to always study the industry, right? Understand what makes our customers desire ABB products. What is the solution they're trying to solve? And how to always be a student to really understand how your customer profits. And if you can help drive solutions, they're going to really value you as a supplier, but also it's a partnership. It's not about a transaction. So for me, I learned that early on, and it's really shaped how I lead.
Yeah, that's excellent advice for our audience. I really appreciate that. So thank you both so much for being here today. We appreciate your time. I'm going to send it back to Amber, who's with Meredith from our commercial sales program.
Really incredible insights from Morten and Denny there. Thank you, Nicole. So I'm really excited that we have Meredith with us today. So she is part of our commercial sales track within the Discovery program. And a fun fact, she actually started as an intern with us at ABB. So really excited to get your perspective. You've rotated through different roles within marketing and sales, be that in your internship and then now in the Discovery program. What would you say is one project that really stands out to you?
Yeah, so a lot of my projects have been focused on strategy for our sales teams. And I think one project that stands out is something that I worked on last year, where the goal was to help our sales teams become more proactive by giving them better visibility into upcoming construction projects in the market. And so what I did is I used data coming from Dodge, which is a market intelligence tool, and it has all sorts of information on projects, construction projects in the market and in your area specifically. And so what I did is I built out a structure for the sales teams to be able to use this data consistently and effectively. So I created different views for all the US districts in the United States.
Yeah.
And I also created an automatic reporting so that they get weekly reminders of these upcoming jobs. Another thing is I also help them turn this market intelligence into actionable weekly discussions with their team, which would then support conversations with our customers, like channel partners or contractors. And I also made sure this project was sustainable. So I wanted to make sure that I laid out the structure, had a cadence so that the teams could use it and stick to it, and also created a user guide so that when I rolled off to my next rotation, that it would still be sustained. So I think this project really stood out to me because I not only was able to work with the sales teams and leadership directly, but it was also really cool to see the teams start to use the structure that I had laid out and be able to go after these projects in the market more strategically. And I also learned a lot. I learned about how they're choosing and how they're prioritizing these jobs and about the bidding process in sales as a whole. And I think that'll really help me as I start my career in sales. So ultimately, I think it just really gave me a more clear picture of how ABB, how we bring our products to market.
That's incredible. And we keep talking about real impact that you're making in these rotations, right? And I feel like you just highlighted that perfectly. I mean, you are really helping change the dynamic of the team and making it better for our customers as well. So very, very cool stuff. Now, I would be curious for you. So for the students and early career professionals who might be watching today, what advice do you have about starting at ABB?
I think my biggest advice would to be proactive. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I think especially early in your career, you're not expected to know everything about everything. So stay curious, ask a lot of questions. That's one of my favorite parts about ABB is how willing the people are to answer your questions. There's some great people that work here and a very supportive environment. I would also say along with that, grow your network, make connections. Some of the most valuable experiences I've had have come from just setting up a quick call with someone on a different team just to learn what they do. And I think that people would be more than willing to share. And those people become part of your support system as you continue to grow. And then also be proactive when you're problem solving. Something that I've heard a lot is fail fast and fail often. So in other words, learn from your mistakes quickly so that it can accelerate your growth and your learning, and you'll make a really big impact. I think ABB really invests in your career and your development. And if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and keep learning, keep trying, keep asking questions, and keep problem solving, I think you can grow really quickly here.
Yes, incredible advice. Thank you so much, Meredith. We really appreciate your insights today. All right. So now we're going to have an opportunity to answer some of your questions before we wrap up. So do we have any that we're seeing in the chat that we've been getting?
We do. I've heard that there's a lot of questions about visa sponsorship, so we want to touch on that for sure.
Okay, absolutely.
Do you want to take that one?
Sure, and I do think that sometimes does depend locally on the team that you or the country that you're in. I know specifically here for the U.S., I can share. So for our programs, we do require permanent residency or citizenship for the Discovery program. But there are definitely opportunities that we still want to encourage you to look at. So on our postings and on all job descriptions, it's going to say if it will require it or not. So don't worry. If you have a question, just make sure you're reflecting back to that job description. It'll make sure you let you know.
Yep, exactly. Thanks, Amber.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple more questions.
Great.
Rain asked us, for the Discovery program, are rotation assignments based on participant preference, or are they determined more by business needs and open positions?
Incredible question, and all of the above, Rain. So I call it a three-prong approach, if you will. So we, of course, take the individual's preferences. So be that what types of roles, right, what types of locations they're interested in, but we also look at what's available. So what is the business need? At the end of the day, that's obviously going to be something we really have to take into consideration, because to be able to work on those real life projects we've been talking about this morning, we need to make sure that those opportunities are there. So we look at that. We also want to make sure you have a diverse experience. So how do we ensure that each of the rotations our participants are getting are going to have the chance to learn new skills and build on one another to really help you figure out what you want to do after the program?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. And I really appreciate that, because we're getting a lot of questions on that and how rotations work. We also want to know, Wisdom Joseph wants to know from you, Nicole, what skills does ABB expect from engineering students applying for internships?
Yeah. So I think the way that we treat internships, not just in the US, but across the globe, is it's meant to be a learning opportunity for those interns coming into ABB. And so, of course, as an engineering student, as a business student, or whatever you're majoring in, you're getting some core experiences from the classroom and the projects and so on. Ultimately, we want you to come in with, I would say, the ability to learn, keeping in mind our values that we talked about earlier as well, the care, collaboration, curiosity, and so on. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on those things, that you have asking questions, right? The ability to collaborate with your teammates. But you don't necessarily have to have specific technical skill sets. I think it depends on the job description and what the manager is looking for. So pay attention to those things as you're applying for roles, but come in with an open mind and the ability to learn and the ability to be flexible too.
Fantastic. And we've got another great question So looking at the factory floor behind you, what kind of products do you manufacture at ABB in the Mebane facility?
Yes, great question. And we have a lot of different products that we are actually manufacturing right here in Mebane. So a really cool thing too on our website, you can go and learn about each of our factory locations and what we do there. So I encourage you to definitely check out that resource so you can get a little bit more in depth there. But I think something that's really cool about Mebane, and I know we were talking about this morning, we do everything here at this factory. So all of the things you guys were talking about in the chat earlier, right? Quality, supply chain, R&D, finance, production, all of these roles happen right here in this building. So it's a pretty incredible facility.
Yeah, and Julia talked about that earlier when we spent some time with her as well, but it's all happening here right on the floor in the offices that are attached to the building here as well. But we have a number of different divisions in our electrification business that are represented here in Mebane as well.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And we had a great question. If I wanted to be an embedded systems engineer, what do I need to do to get there? Do I just apply online?
Well, first, I love that we know exactly what we want to do. That is one step ahead of where I was when I was in college. I don't know about you.
I agree. Yep, for
yes.
sure.
So good for you. So that careers.abb website, I'm going to keep encouraging you all, go there. You can actually filter and use whether it's your country, if you have a certain role you're looking for, internship versus early talent role. You can look at them all there. And that's going to give you a really good sense also of the projects. There's going to be some really good points in the job description, really let you know what you'll get exposed to.
I think you can also research ABB in general just at the company website and understand what an embedded engineer may do here as well in terms of their day-to-day. But I would absolutely, like Amber said, take a look at the careers page, join the talent network. What's really cool about that is when roles are posted in areas that you have an interest in, you actually receive notifications about those roles as well, which is great.
That's fantastic. And Solomon asked a really great question. What job opportunities as a health and safety personnel could we have?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've met a few this week while we've been here prepping for today's event as well. But I would, I think, health and safety is a big part of what happens in any ABB production facility or office in general. You can see we have our safety glasses on. You can't see our feet, but we have steel toe covers over our shoes right now as well. So there's a plethora of different opportunities, and I would bet, depending on the facility size, probably a number of different roles, even in Mebane itself, that would cover that part of the business.
Absolutely, yes. Safety is a #1 priority for all of our facilities. We want to make sure our employees get to come to work and feel safe doing what they do every day. So very big role we're hiring for always.
We have another really great question about programming. This one specifically about how do I learn about programming for PLCs or DCSs? Where do I go for that information to find out how I could get an opportunity or how ABB engages in that way?
Let me take that.
Absolutely.
So like I said earlier, I think you can research in general at ABB's website just to understand what we might do in some of those areas. And of course, look at the job opportunities of what might exist. I would also, if you do see jobs that are posted, even if it's not posted in your country, but take a look at the job description and understand what requirements those managers might be looking for. And so on. I think the other thing for any of our audience to keep in mind is ABB has excellent internal training as well. And so I think a lot of our people that we talked to today talked about not coming in with every single skill set under their belt, but taking advantage of the learning and development opportunities that ABB has. I know in the Mebane facility where we are today, there's a number of different training classes. There was actually a training class happening yesterday right across from the conference room that we were sitting in. And so that happens all the time in facilities like Mebane. And I think ABB does an excellent job of providing that training to our employees often.
Fantastic. And we had another good question from Indranil. Can you share expectations from mid-leadership? What does leadership look like if you're coming into a mid-engineering role, maybe a team lead or a management, or you've got several years of experience and you're interested in pursuing an engineering career?
I'll take that. Sure. So great question. So we're hiring at all levels. So even if you're joining us and you may be a little bit more experienced in your career, not looking for early talent roles, we absolutely have those on our careers.abb website as well. So signing up for the talent network that we'll be putting in the chat for you to join, as well as making sure that you are going on there to the careers website, signing up for saved searches. That's a great tool to make sure it's always letting you know when new roles that are aligned to your interests come out. So absolutely, please check those out. Even if you are more experienced in your career, we have opportunities for you.
Fantastic. And does ABB prefer strong theoretical knowledge or hands-on project experience?
I'd say both.
Yeah.
Yes,
sure.
I think both are equally important. Do you want to touch on that a bit?
Yeah, I think there's a good balance of both at ABB. What I always talk to candidates about is, and you heard a lot about today, our early talent hires have high levels of responsibility from day one. And so what I really appreciate about that is we collaborate a lot at ABB. It's one of our values that we talked about earlier too. And so you as a hire have skin in the game, right? You may be working on a project with multiple people, but you have a responsibility and a part of that project, and you have a responsibility to bring that part of the project to the table to help make the overall team successful. That's something I really appreciate about ABB in general.
Agreed.
Fantastic. And our last question of the day, which, by the way, please keep the questions coming. We'll try and get to them all, even if we don't get them in the live segment. But we did have a question about, I appreciate the diversity culture. What safety standards are followed there? So how do you look at diversity within your organization?
You want to touch that first?
Sure. So I think diversity is definitely something that's very important to us, right? When we think about all of the really cool things that we're able to do and helping make the world a better place with the products that we're creating, it takes a lot of different diversity of thought and different perspectives to come up with these innovative ideas. So it's incredibly important to us.
Yeah. There's also a number of different opportunities from a perspective of getting involved internally as well. We have in a number of our different locations across the globe, we have employee resource groups and similar opportunities for employees to get involved and participate within their communities and so on, which is a big piece of ABB no matter where we operate.
Absolutely. It's incredibly important for them to feel included in our culture. Yep. And so we definitely foster that environment.
Exactly.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining today. Really appreciate the activity online and the questions in the chat. Like we said, keep those coming in. We can answer those even offline once we're done with the live event today. But also be on the lookout for future LinkedIn Live events. We will have another one coming up here later on in the year, maybe closer to the summertime. But definitely want to see you at those events going forward.
Absolutely. And if you are early in your career and you're looking at opportunities, be that internships, early career programs, or even direct hire roles, please sign up for our talent network. So we are going to put that in the chat. Make sure you sign up for that and look at our careers website. Hopefully you heard today, it's a great way to get real world experience and have some hands-on learning.
Yeah. And follow us on our different social media channels too. That's a great way to learn about and keep in touch with what ABB is doing on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Thanks everyone for being with us.
Thank
we really
you so much
appreciate
for
it.
joining us.